Hi, this is Lee Watts with Ashby and Watts Consulting. I hope you all are having a fabulous day. Today I wanted to talk to you about positioning your brand. I see this as a common issue, a common problem where people have not positioned or laid the foundation for their brand before they launch something or expect their audience to believe them or even purchase from them or engage them with their services. So today I'm just going to talk just a few minutes about positioning your brand, how to do it, what it is, and again, just why it's important. So first, just why it's important. When you are positioning your brand, again, it is laying the foundation for your credibility, for why people should trust, like, or purchase from you. Many times you may have a great service, a great product, and you're putting it out there, but people don't know, again, a lot about your brand, about your beliefs, how you work, how authentic you are. So positioning is setting yourself in the market. Another way to look at positioning is also, what is your promise? What is your promise to your audience, to your clients, to customers that will engage with you? What are you saying about your brand that you will always do, that you will always provide, that you will always perform, the service that you know that you're always going to be able to give? Now, there are a lot of things that you all should be doing to make sure you know the answers to that. One of the things is just simply really being very clear on the value that you bring to the table, knowing how your business, your brand, your organization sets itself apart. What differentiates you in the marketplace? So knowing that is very important. But remember that positioning is establishing your brand promise. What is your brand promise? What is that thing that you know that you can always give pretty much consistently every single time to whomever comes into your space? Now, it's not always going to be your service that you're selling. It's not always going to be the product, but it's something about the way that you pull all of that together and that you deliver that. So think about that. What is it that you know that is like your innate differentiator about yourself or your company that you're like, I know I can always deliver this? That is your position. You want to make sure that that is communicated in your marketing and in your branding at all times. I'm just going to give 3 steps to establishing your position in the marketplace. Also remember that the positioning is not just about your product, what you're selling, or your service that you're selling. It's really about the essence of who your brand and your company, your organization is, and you are speaking to the needs of your audience. So number 1, I want you to consistently show the benefits and again the differentiators of your brand. So what is that attribute about your company, about your brand, that you know that you can put money on it, that this describes my brand and what I have to offer all the time? I kind of mentioned that a few minutes ago, but I really want you to take a few minutes and maybe write down some attributes about your brand, about your company, about yourself that are important to you, are values for you, and that you know will always kind of be part of the makeup of your company, of your brand. What are those attributes? And when you look at your marketing, your branding, the advertising that you're doing, the social media that you're doing, the blogging that you're doing, all those things, even just look at your profile on your Instagram or on your Facebook page or business page. Are any of those attributes used? Be sure to know what you're selling to your audience and consistently talk about and show the benefits of working with you and engaging with your brand. So that again is positioning. It's laying that foundation. It is establishing the promise that you always want to give to your audience, to your clients, to your customers. Number two, as I've mentioned sort of in this video, but I've also mentioned it in others, you really need to know your target audience is. I talk about that a lot. Know your target audience, but really also know the emotion that you're appealing to. So know what it is that you are trying to tap into with your target audience, because emotional marketing is real. People don't always buy because it's the best price. Sometimes they're buying out of an emotion. So what emotion are you appealing to for your audience? So that could be the emotion of safety. You know that your audience is looking for safety for whatever reason, or they're looking for status. You know, it's a real thing. That's why brands such as Mercedes and BMWs and to some degree even Apple exists, and they can charge higher rates because they're appealing to an audience where, for whatever reason, status is a part of an emotion that they're tapping into. Are they looking for efficiency? So, you know, that means you need to be consistently positioning yourself as someone that is easy to work with, easy to obtain the service or the product from, fast, quick. Talk about your processes. Or are you appealing to people who are really just purchasing for price? Walmart, for example. You're not necessarily going into Walmart looking for great client service, but you pretty much and can feel pretty certain that they will have the lowest price or the most competitive prices for whatever you purchase. Now, when you go to Chick-fil-A, of course, Chick-fil-A has a great product that they're selling, but to some degree, because of how they've positioned themselves in the marketplace, you are also going for, you always know that you're going to get pretty much great client service and consistency. So again, appeal to the emotion of your audience. If you truly know your target audience and what it is that they're really purchasing from you, you should be able to know that emotion. So write that down as you're building your positioning statements. What is the emotion? And number three, to establish your position in the marketplace, you have to be authentic. So that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about really knowing what it is you're selling, what you bring to the table, and what value you add. So when you are marketing and when you're branding, and when you know your value, you know your audience, just be yourself. Be yourself. People really appeal to authenticity and consistency. So consistently be who you are and realize that you may not be for everyone. I was listening to a friend of mine today. She was doing a video about another brand who's doing very well, but the brand owner, she uses a lot of profanity, but her business is booming and it doesn't seem to be hurting her business. And that's an example of she's being authentically who she is, and she knows her audience. She knows that her audience is not going to be really bothered or swayed by this, or her pricing and everything else she brings to the table outweighs that profanity. But she's being authentically who she is, and to some degree, my friend is probably drawn to her brand because of her authenticity. So make sure when you are positioning yourself in the marketplace, when you are marketing, when you're branding, when you're building your story and you're building your promise, which essentially is what positioning is, you are authentically who you are. Because people can tell when someone is not authentic, when they're not themselves. So be authentic to your brand. And that kind of leads to another discussion, which I wasn't really going to get into it in this video, but while we're talking about it, don't hide behind a logo, because it's really hard to be really authentic if all your viewers and your customers and your audience sees is a logo all the time. People, for the most part, especially if you're a smaller business, which I think is my target audience, so that's usually who I'm speaking with, that people want to see, and people a lot of times support smaller businesses because they want to know the person behind the logo. So if you have a smaller business and all people know is your logo, move that out of the way. I'm not saying you don't need a logo. Logos are important for various reasons, so I don't want any of my graphic designer people to get angry with me. But your logo, if you have an Instagram account or even a Facebook account or whatever your social media is, your picture should not necessarily be your logo. Your picture should be you or your team, because people want to know who's behind the brand. So that is extremely important. I'm sorry, I'm having a very authentic moment. My battery is about to die. Hold on one second. Anyway, so again, position yourself in the marketplace before you begin selling and doing too much. I was just working with someone who I just started working with, and she just started really launching her brand. She'd been in business for a while, but really starting to put her brand out there and be really proactive with it. But she is at the very early stages of doing that and going through the plan that we developed for her. But she said, hey, I want to go ahead and launch a class in the next couple weeks. And I hate to like mess up anyone's dreams or do anything like that, but I'm like, you need to position yourself in the marketplace first. So don't be in such a rush to sell to people if you haven't done the positioning yet, if you haven't laid the groundwork and really let people know who you are, establish some type of credibility and your brand promise to your audience. All right, so just a few minutes on positioning. If you have any questions about positioning, about strategy, about marketing and branding, feel free to contact me at Lee, L-E-E, at ashbyandwatts.com. Visit my website, or you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, I think LinkedIn, and Facebook as well. So you all have an amazing day and keep connecting those dots.